Hello from Gardening at Douentza here in Ireland, and today we're in the plant room for a very quick update on two orchids. This is just a quick video to highlight something that occurred to me recently, and it relates to these two orchids here at the very front, which are identical, and this is the label for them. They're cross, so Banfieldara, my goodness, how could you pronounce that? Gilded Tower Mystic Maze, which is a wonderful hybrid that is quite popular at the moment, and you'll find it in many places. And at the Dublin Orchid Fair in April of this year, I discovered seedlings of this plant for sale and decided I wanted one. My daughter was there at the same time, and she was anxious to try out her first orchid, so I bought her one as well. The two plants were bought at the same time from the same vendor, but they went home to two different addresses and to two different carers. Now, I potted both of them up first because they came as kind of plugs, so they both got identical mix, that I know, which was medium bark and some sphagnum. The only difference was that mine got put in a clay pot, because I have this almost a fetish when it comes to clay pots. I adore them to bits, and I knew my daughter didn't care, so she got a plastic pot, but you know, one that was the appropriate size. And when I looked at the two seedlings, my daughter's one, the one that I gave to my daughter, was slightly bigger and had a better root run than mine, and I wanted to give her a fighting chance because it was her first orchid, so it was only fair that I should give her one that was slightly healthier than the other one. Now, in September of this year, my daughter's plant came to live with me again because she was going abroad, so that's how I've ended up with both of them. But when I got it back, the first thing I noticed was the big variance between the two of them. So two plants that had started out life pretty much identical. Now we can see that my daughter's one is actually much smaller than mine. And we'll go in and have a look at that. So this is my daughter's plant. And on the left there, we see the original pseudobulb, and it's maturing a new pseudobulb. So it's all good news. But if we wiggle the plant a bit in the pot, it's not that stable. It's not as stable as I'd like it to be. And in fact, I don't see any kind of roots kind of jumping out over the edge and enjoy the joy of life. So I can concur that the roots aren't as healthy as they'd like them to be. Now, if we look up at the leaves, there's some damage on the leaves, but that's from my daughter's cat. So, you know, I mean, I think it's a pretty common story, a pretty usual story for someone starting out with orchids. My daughter had to determine where the best spot in the house was with the appropriate light for this orchid. It took a little time, and she had to work out the watering regime, which also took a little time. And she hasn't done badly at all. But mine, on the other hand, because I have more experience of orchid growing than she has made a noticeable difference in those 4 months. And this here, well, I suppose this is the original pseudobulb, and this is the second pseudobulb. So mine is already mature, whereas my daughter's one is still maturing and has much taller top growth. And of course, I've got a better behaved cat, so my cat didn't eat the leaves. And if we look in here, you can see that the roots are doing quite well. You can see them coming out there. And it's steady as anything in the pot. So I can't see any roots down there, but I can concur that it's got a very sturdy and sensible root system going on under the soil level. So there you go. I just wanted to point out the difference 4 months can take in the life of a young orchid, whether that your orchid is with an amateur or somebody with a bit more experience. We all know that experienced orchid growers grow orchids better than amateurs, but it's interesting to just have it pointed out to us in detail as to how much that difference can be. And while we're talking about orchids, I thought I'd just show you my Gongora, because the first spike has opened. There it is. What a beauty. Now the second spike behind it here, not open yet. And the third one has blasted. Oh, there's the third one there in the background. Can you see? It's blasted. Such a shame. Aren't those flowers doty? Super little things. Now there's no scent yet, but I'll tell you more when the other spike opens. And just while we're in the neighbourhood of this as well, do you notice my frag there in the background? This is the pink one. So I'm due some flowers on that before too long. That's all for now. Check back soon to hopefully see this Gongora's spikes, both of them, in full flower at the same time. Thanks very much for watching. Bye now.